Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we will be covering grid systems and layout structure. You will learn what grid systems are, the different types of grids, and how to set them up in Figma to create well-structured designs. By the end of this session, you will understand how to use grids to maintain consistency and alignment in your design work. Let's get started. Grid systems. So we are in section 4, grid systems and layout structure. So this particular lesson will cover the three topics I have here. So just like a one topic, I'm going to walk you through the introduction to grid systems, types of grids like column, baseline, modular, setting up grids in Figma. We'll go to Figma and do this, maintaining consistency with grid-based design. So this lesson will walk you through everything here. So let's get started. What is a grid system? A grid system is a structure made of lines, columns, rows, and spacing guides used to organize content in a design. Grid, Grids help designers place elements in a clean and consistent way. Why grids are important? Grid systems help designers maintain alignment, improve consistency, create balanced layouts, improve readability, design responsive interfaces, speed up workflow. Without grids, design may appear messy and unorganized. Real life examples of grid systems. Grid systems are used in websites, mobile apps, newspapers, dashboards, social media layouts, magazine designs. Benefits of using grid systems: better organization, elements appear structured and balanced, improve consistency, spacing and alignment remain uniform, easier responsiveness, layout adapt better across devices, faster design workflow, designers can work more efficiently, professional appearance, designs look cleaner and more modern. Components of a grid system: component and meaning: columns, vertical sections of a layout; rows, horizontal sections. We have margin, space around the edges; gutter, space between columns. So look at this and we get to Figma. Introduction to layout structure. Layout structure refers to how elements are arranged on a screen. Good layout structure improves user experience, navigation, readability, visual hierarchy. Types of grids. There are different types of grids used in UI/UX design. The most common are column grid, baseline grid, modular grid, and the most common among the three which you use oftenly is column grid. Column grid. What is a column grid? A column grid divides the screen vertically into sections. It is commonly used in websites, dashboards, responsive layout. Example of a column grid: a desktop website may use 12-column layout. A mobile app may use 4-column layout. You can also use 8-column layout. Why column grids are important? Column grids helps align content properly, create responsive layouts, maintain balance. Baseline grids. What is a baseline grid? A baseline grid uses horizontal lines to align text and elements consistently. It is mainly used for typography, text spacing, vertical rhythm. Importance of baseline grids. Baseline grids helps improve readability, maintain consistent text alignment, create cleaner layout. Modular grid. What is a modular grid? A modular grid combines the columns and rows to create modules or boxes. Where modular grids are used. Modular grids is just like a combination of columns and rows. We will look at that. Modular grids are commonly used in dashboards, galleries, card layouts, complex interfaces. Comparison of grid types. Grid types. Primary use. Column grid. layout structure, which is what you use a lot. Base grid, baseline grid, typography alignment, modular grid, complex UI layout. Setting up grids in Figma. See, steps to add a grid in Figma. Step 1, you select a frame. 2, go to the right side properties panel. Step 3, locate the layout grid section. Step 4, click on the plus icon. So changing grid types in Figma. Figma allows users to switch between grids, columns, rows. Customizing grid settings. Students can adjust numbers of columns, gutter size, margin, grid color, opacity. So, example, setting up a desktop grid. A common desktop grid, 12 columns, 24 pixel, gutter, equal margins. Setting up a mobile grid. A common mobile setup, 4 columns, smaller gutters, responsive spacing. Okay, let's go to Figma. Here I have a mobile screen and a desktop screen. Here I have grid system setup. My setup guide, I have it here. So now, first thing, grid are only, when you are adding grid, mostly you add it to your frame, because that's the layout structure. Add to your frame. I will click on the frame, then I'll come down. You see layout guide. You click on the plus. This will pop up. You can use, so you can now switch, like I've said, you can switch between grid, columns, rows. So I'll go for, you already see now the grid has been added. So I'll go for columns. Then the settings we talk about. So I have the settings here. You are starting with a mobile layout grid. So I'm going to the count. Okay, this settings is for both rows and columns, which is modular grids. But first, we are doing the column grid. So my count will be 8. The type should be stretch. Gutter should be 16. Margin 24. Opacity 10. So that's what I'm going to use. So what is my count? 8. What is the type? Stretch. What is the margin? I look at the margin, 24. And my gutter, 16. My margin is 24. And my gutter is 16. Okay, let me put this 50. First thing first, let me bring this guy like this so that I see what we are doing. So I'll go back to it. If I put this like, let's say 50, I want you to observe something. Too big. So gutter, the spaces between, so these are columns. These fainted lines you are seeing here, they are known as columns. So the spaces between them is what we know as gutter. If I change this to 10, if I change to 5, you can see now. So the spaces between them is known as gutter. Best practice, we are going to use 16. So now the margins, the spaces outside, like we explained earlier, if I put this like 0, you can see there's no margin at all. But we also use 24. So this is it for the opacity is already 10. So you can play with it, make it 50. It becomes thicker. Like you can't use this because it's just like a guide, a fainted lines on your design. So it's advisable you use 10 so that I can still see what is on your screen. You can change the color. can change the color, so play around with it. Then I'm done. What I can do now is I can save this. We have a naming convention. I'll click here and I will click on this plus, create style. The name, you can see now, earlier I'm going to use mobile slash 8 column. So this is how I'm going to name it. So I'll just put it here. Mobile slash 8 column. Now say create style. So I've created that. Now go to desktop. A desktop grid. I want to create a desktop grid. And so they said that we should make use of this one for desktop. So we are going to create columns. Start with columns. So these are settings we are going to use. 12, stretch, gutter. So let's do that. The same thing. I'll click on it. Scroll down to guide, layer guide. I'll bring this up. I'll switch to columns. They say the count should be what? 12. The type is stretch. So let's go back and look at it again. The width is auto. The gutter is 24 and margin 56. So margin is what? 56 and the gutter is 24. Okay, the width is auto. So I'm done with it. So what is the I'm done with it. So can be turned off when not needed. We'll look at that. This is how we are going to name it. So I'll just click on it. I'll come here. Then I'll call it desktop. So it has a naming convention. This is how you name it. If it is 4 columns, where I have the 12, you put 4, depending on what you have. So let's look at them. This is for mobile, this is for desktop. You might just be asking yourself, why are you doing this? Don't worry, we'll get there. Now, for example, I'll go to frame. I'll bring another desktop. So let me put it below this one. I'll go to frame. I'll bring phone. Let me place it here. So one thing is that I'm done creating this one. I'm done creating this one. So in the same design, you don't have to do it all over again. What if I need this here? I'll not start going to layer guide plus start doing all those settings again. If you want to remove grid, just click on this, remove that minus sign there. So I can just click on this place. This is the first one I created, mobile, 8 columns. If I click on this, automatically what I have here comes here. Same here too. This is the one for desktop. So I don't have to be, once you create for the first screen, you can just reuse it, just save it, then be reusing it in other screens. So that is how it is. Now, for example, I have something like this. So this is a column grid and this is a modular grid. So now let's do something. I'll have another this thing here. So first, I'm going to create a modular grid for mobile. So I'll come to the guide. So I'm going to create using these two settings to create it. So I'll start with column 8 stretch. This one should be 24 and this one should be 16. So I've created that. Now I'll click on the plus. I'll click here. I'll change this one to rows. The count will be auto. Okay, let's look at it. So the count is auto, the type is top, gutter 8, height 8, opacity. So this one now be top, gutter 8, height, no, gutter is 8, height is 8. So this is a modular combination of row and columns. So I'm done with it. I can save it. I can save it. So did I give it any naming convention? Nope. Alright, so you can save it the way you want to save it. I'll call this mobile. I don't really, I'll just call it mobile. Then I'm a bit confused now. Let me give it modular. So you can just name it anything that's convenient for you. Let me check what I save. So this is the one I save. Mobile. That is a modular. So another thing here is we are not going to do it for desktop. So the desktop, first thing I will start with the columns. Change this to columns. This is 12. Stretch. Margin. What do we have for margin? Margin 56, gutter 24. Margin 56, gutter 24. Alright. Okay. So I'll go for, I'll click on the plus. Now click on this place. This will pop up. Change it to rows. This one will be auto. The type will be top. So let's look for the height and the offset. What do we have? The height is 8. The gutter is 8. So the height 8, the gutter 8. So you can save it. I'll call it desktop modular. I'll create it. So now if I have something like this, this is desktop screen. I'll put it here. I'll create another one for, I'll put it here. So I can click on it. I'll just come here and I'll change this to, alright. Can click on this one. Just come to, no, this is, let me remove it for desktop. So All right, guys, the very, very serious one. Now, why did we even do this? That's why let's look at it, a design. Look at how grids are being used in a design. Can you see this? Look at how grids are being used to align things. This right align margins. So your content shouldn't go beyond this point. So you can see even how a shape is being, you can see how we place this one here, place this one here. You can see how things are well aligned using grid. You can see how we use grid to align something perfectly. So that is the use case of a grid. You can see now, like this one now. Let's assume you have this kind of a grid. You can see how if you have a something like this, a shape, this is how it should be. So look at how grids are being used to align things properly. And grid is a must use in a design. Before you even start a design, the first thing to do, have your grid sorted out. So grid is a must use. You cannot design professionally without grid. It's not possible. You can, but it's not a best practice. So what am I going to do? So where are we? Changing, uh, maintaining consistency with grid-based design. Consistency means keeping equal spacing, proper alignment, balanced sizing, organized layout. Grid systems make this easier. Like I've shown you here, you can see how things are balanced, equal, consistency. So grid makes it easier. Importance of consistency in UI design. Consistency helps improve usability, build user trust, create personal interfaces, improve navigation. It will surprise you that consistency will help build user trust, which is very important for any product you are designing. Examples of consistency. Consistent designs include equal button spacing, similar card sizes, uniform text alignment, balanced margins. Grid-based design best practices. Use grids early. Set up grids before designing, which I've just said. The first thing you are going to do before designing is to set up grid. Maintain equal spacing. Avoid random positioning. Align elements properly. Use columns and guides. Use responsive layouts. Design for different screen sizes. Keep layout simple. Avoid unnecessary complexity. Responsive design and grids. Responsive design means layout adapt to mobile devices, tablets, desktop screen. Grid system make responsive design easier. When they say that a design is responsive, it works well in mobile, tabs, and desktop. Real life UI example. Students should observe websites, mobile apps, dashboards, and identify columns, layouts, spacing, consistency, grid alignment. So you should do that. Common beginners mistake solution. Ignoring grids. Always use layout grids. Don't ignore it. Uneven spacing. Maintain gutters and margins. Random alignment. Use columns properly. Overcrowded layouts. Leave white spaces. Inconsistent card sizes. Use modular structure. Beginners tip. Start with simple grids. Okay. Use equal spacing. Practice responsive layouts. Keep layouts clean and balanced. Use grids to guide alignment. This has been a very, very important topic. One of the important topics in this course, grid, is very, very important. So guys, this is the end of grid is the end of grid systems and layout structure.